Hello everyone, it is Erin Floto here, and I am here talking about goal setting today. So I released a video way back at the beginning of the year about the different goal setting method that I was going to be using for 2024. So for reference, my old method of goal setting was taking a look at each aspect of my life: personal, work and learning, health and wellness, financial, fun and recreation, family and relationships, business, and physical environment, doing annual goals, and then I also did level 10 life, and then doing quarterly goals. And so I would break it down into 3, 4, some odd goals for each aspect of my life, and then fill out progress bars. And I did this in 2022. And I also did this in 2023, which I don't think I ever went back to be honest. So in 2024, which I almost wrote 2025 at the time, which again, still super funny to me, I decided we need to change things up. However, the beginning of the year was very, very crazy for me. My husband and I got married in January. We were planning the wedding in January. We got married in February. We had a positive pregnancy test in March, and we went to Florida in March. And so it was kind of a whirlwind of everything going on at the beginning of the year. And then I was in my first trimester, and I was tired. Very, very, very tired. So suffice it to say, I didn't really come in here a lot up until recently. And by recently, I mean literally like 2 weeks ago. So I'm filming this on July 5th. So at the very end of June, I didn't come in here. So you can see I didn't do anything about my intentions. Clarity is still my word of the year. Clarity into what is important to me, clarity into what is purely what I want in my life, which is one of the reasons why I took a step back from social media so much, where I was focusing on my family, building my family, and it's just a lot to run social media accounts. So I didn't really come in here that much because of all of the whirlwind and tiredness. So that is my word of the year. And then disregard this page really quick. This is the only thing that I had set up at the beginning of the year because I was like, oh, well, this is an easy goal for me. I do monthly digital subscriptions. This page up until a week ago was blank. It had all of the purple aspects in the titles. It did not have any of this other stuff filled in. I actually just did that very recently. Again, I didn't come in here at all. I'll be honest with you. It was shut away in my drawer. I did not do any goal setting whatsoever the beginning of 2024. So since then, I have kind of made it a goal, so to speak, of filling out some more things that are going on currently, or things that at the beginning of the year I wanted to be a goal and just completely fell off, but it's still stuff that I can do today. So we have design and deliver monthly subscription goals, and all of these colors coordinate with the colors of the goals. So I did switch to pastels this year because pastels are just more me than the big bold colors. So personal goals is red, fun and rec orange, work and learning yellow. And so I do have a legend in the back here about which coordinate with which. And I should put a title there. of which aspects it is. So purple is business, so this one was related to business. Health and wellness is blue, so this one is related to my health and wellness because the page itself is blue. And so instead of doing these quarterly goals and things like that, my thought process was, okay, come up with a goal, not for this quarter, not for whatever this goal is, then set the dates around that and create this action plan. And these action plans, I think I talked about it at the beginning of the year when I released this. I came up with this type of action plan from a bunch of sources on the internet on different goal setting worksheets. So I decided to basically set a goal setting worksheet for each goal instead of doing these big annual goals, big quarterly goals. And I'm really glad I did that because while I did have some goals in mind, I really, again, struggled at the beginning of the year trying to juggle everything. And again, particularly in the first trimester, I needed to nap like 5 times a day. It was pretty bad. I would wake up and I would immediately need a nap. There is not much I have experienced in life close to the first trimester tired. And please don't come at me in the comments. Just wait till you have the baby. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Anyways, so I just wanted to kind of do this video to check in to basically say, this is how it's working. Now that I'm back in here, I do think I want to start adding some washi tape in here as well. But I decided I would kind of give you insight into different ideas and things like that. So, for example, I have met with a personal trainer at my husband's club who is certified for prenatal, postnatal. And so we're going to start personal training. And I've ordered 12 sessions from her. So I kind of have my action steps as like, okay, meet with her. She's the prenatal expert. I don't have a due date here because I actually haven't really calculated out what 12 sessions, because it's like 6 weeks from now. However, there might be some missing sessions because of one thing or another. I have a meeting or something like that. So I actually haven't calculated any of that stuff out yet. So each session that I complete, I will fill in one of these. Just like here, each month I was filling this out. And by filling this out, I mean I filled it out last week. So I've done the January kit, February kit, March kit, etc. I actually completed the December kit, but not the November kit. So, and then I wanted to talk about what obstacles are with this and how to overcome those obstacles. For example, I'm due November 2024. So I don't want to wait until the last minute because I feel like I won't be able to work on a lot of that kind of stuff. So I am working ahead of schedule to finalize these kits prior to giving birth. So it is July and I'm almost done. I just have the November kit left. I still have to reassess if I'm going to do this in 2025. I think so. But again, that's one of the reasons why my word of the year is clarity, because I want to find clarity in what I'm working on. And just for reference, I am a federal employee, so there is an election, and based on the outcome of said election, I may or may not have to reduce my social media presence. So that's another one of the reasons why I'm like kind of trying to decide. But that's later down the road. So that is the page that I set up for personal training. I haven't gone in and filled in all of this stuff yet, but I kind of wanted to set up the pages with the intention that I would try to come in here weekly and fill these out. That's my goal. Fingers crossed. The other one, so I mentioned before that, okay, I have a bunch of these that I'm doing now, but there are some from the beginning of the year that I can theoretically do. One of those is a monthly financial review. So I did do that in, I think, January and February. So I've only set this from March. I have to go back into my financial planner and look at it. I have not touched. I do think I did it in like maybe May. I'm trying to remember. But basically, I filled out some action steps. So at the end of each month, download the files from the bank, which bank accounts I'm talking about, analyze income expenses, look for outliers / large purchases. For example, and this, not this past month, but the month before that, I had to put the down payment on our garage. So that was almost $9,000. So that's an outlier and a large purchase that isn't ordinary to that month. So sometimes what I do is I like look at the overall amount, but then I also look at, okay, take out the outliers that we have either saved money for. In this case, I used some of the money from the sale of my Syracuse house in order to help fund that. And that was put away into a different account. That was like a high yield savings account. So I brought money in to pay specifically for that purchase. So that's going to skew your income and expenses. So that won't actually help me because I knew that was an expense that was happening. And I also I also brought in money from an outside account that I don't ordinarily look at when I'm doing a monthly financial review. Determine money saving opportunities. Less coffee, for example. If we want to cut down on subscriptions, and that's what I put, if necessary, limit subscriptions. It's mostly like TV subscription services that we usually cut down. Sometimes we put in here and there. For example, the Hulu Disney Plus bundle, we just put into our what's it called? Our phone bill. And it ended up being less money. So that was a money saving opportunity, but we didn't lose a subscription. And then a lot of times we decide to cut out, okay, so we're not going to watch Peacock this month, or this month something is getting released on Netflix. We want to do that subscription, but only for that month. And so then we'll get it off the next month. So that's what I'm talking about, about the subscription services. And then determine any fraud purchases. It actually just happened to me with Adobe. And if you've ever had an Adobe account, please go back and look, because I have the email. I have all the verification saying that I canceled the account. And people are kind of talking about a class action lawsuit about them charging you again. And so my bank went back and did all of the... it wasn't fraud, but it's like a subscription service that I had canceled, and then they kept charging me for. So my bank went back and reimbursed me for all those because I was able to provide verifiable proof that I did cancel that account. So that's, and then I put obstacles, access to the bank account, just because like I have a personal bank account, my husband has a personal bank account, and then we have a joint account. So I have to get the files from him for his accounts. That way we can go together and do a financial review. Because we look at all of our money as one set of money, but we do maintain separate accounts as well. Okay, the next one I have is install a new washer and dryer. This is actually happening as we speak. So that's why you can see a few things filled out. And I wanted to give an example of different progress bars. So for example, this one, each action step is part of the progress bar, because I've laid out every single aspect of this new install and doing it. And if you've looked at my Instagram in the past 24 hours. I actually posted a photo of me doing the demo. I haven't finished it, so that's why number 3 isn't complete, but that's one of the things that I've been doing. And I haven't figured out the due date because we haven't actually ordered the new washer and dryer. We have until the 11th to do that and also get all of the deals and all that kind of stuff. So that is why I haven't set that up yet. And I haven't done obstacles and overcoming them yet either. So I did want to give that example that sometimes it's based on the month. Sometimes it is based on the number of sessions that I'm doing with the personal trainer. And then sometimes my progress bar is related to the action steps. That's why I always have like numbers over it. That way I can kind of understand what I'm tracking for progress for that particular goal. And then the last 2 that I have is adding pattern prints and clothing to my shop. So that is, I am doing that with Printful, just because I can't fulfill any of these things. So I just started filling this out this morning, so that's why I don't have a progress bar or anything like that. But this goal is going to be very similar, that when I do the action steps, that is what's going to be my progress bar, similar to this washer dryer install. So I have to write out all of the action steps before I do my progress bar. And I know that the due date is this month because I have basically added a bunch of stuff, but I want to get like kind of a full stock of things. I've added the watercolor winter pattern, the Halloween pattern, and the sweet tooth pattern. I think that's the 3 that I've added. And I'll go ahead and give you an example of what the pattern is like. So basically, what I do is I create a seamless pattern and a cat pattern. So I create this seamless pattern in Procreate. So you can see that all 4 of these boxes, they started from this original one. Oh, I don't even have the original one. That's my bad. But if I take this box right here and duplicate, and I put this at like a quarter of the thing and made a pattern, you wouldn't be able to see any seams in the pattern, if that makes sense. It will duplicate and every little piece of the puzzle fits together. So same thing. So if I have all 4 of these that were sized down, but I sized this one back up, you can see that this particular design was seamless for the 4 boxes. I don't know if any of that makes sense. So that's basically what I've been doing for the clothing shop. And so I'm not fulfilling those. I'm using Printful, which is a website that will fulfill the orders for me. But I create the designs for those particular orders. So that is another goal. And again, it is purple because it's related to business. This one was gray because it was related to my physical environment. This one is pink because it was related to my financial review. Finances, not financial review. That was the goal. And then I've just added one more just for funsies, and that was tracking the pregnancy. So again, I wanted to show a different kind of progress bar. So I've split this up into 40 weeks, which is the goal for pregnancy, is to get to 40 weeks. That may or may not happen. I do have gestational diabetes, which sometimes results in having to birth your child earlier. I am really, really hoping that's not going to happen because I have been really diligent about getting my my glucose back on track. And to be honest, it's kind of always been on track as long as I've been eating healthy, which I wasn't doing in the first trimester. And I am already insulin resistant, so we kind of knew that this diagnosis was happening, but it kind of stinks at the same time. And instead of doing action steps, obstacles, and overcoming, I decided to do a different method, which is just tips for successful pregnancy. So eating enough calories, making sure me and baby are healthy, doing workout and walks, glucose testing, and I was going to fill in some more stuff here. But each of these boxes is for the number of weeks. We are currently at 18 weeks. On Saturday, I will be able to fill out 19 weeks, for example. And then again, the dates are a bit different because this is start date, due date, actual end date, due, the difference between the due and end date. And this is obviously going to be a little bit different. So this is when our positive test was, what the due date for our little one is, and then the delivery date. I haven't decided what I'm going to put in this box yet. So that's why I haven't filled it out. But I'm sure it's going to be some other milestone date. So that is all of the goals pages that I've set up that I kind of wanted to give you an example for, because I talked about it at the beginning of the year. I didn't do a good job at it, but I wanted to kind of show how this type of action plan goal setting works, because that's never what I did on this channel before. I was always doing these types of quarterly goals, and breaking it down into individual goals has been so much better for my mental health. And tracking these individually has been so much better for my mental health, by the way. Just because I feel like I'm not trying to accomplish a bunch of things or come up with a bunch of things for no reason. These are all things like, even if this is a year-long goal project, it is still worthy of me being able to track it, right? Because that's not what I was doing before. My quarterly goals, you can see I was doing these subscriptions, these monthly kits, back in July through September. I never put it in here, even though that took so much of my time related to my business, was designing these kits. Especially back then, I was doing 2 kits at once. So I like this method a lot more, because it's like, okay, hone in on what is important instead of trying to set 3 random goals. Hone in on the things that are really, really important to you, and create an action plan for that particular goal. For example, my goal every month is to work out. You can see it in my monthly spreads, that my goal is to work out a certain number of days a week, or a month, but this is related to specifically a package that I purchased for prenatal health workouts. So I'm going to track that goal. Whereas I could have set a goal, work out X amount of times in July. But honestly, I have a habit tracker for that. I didn't really think that this needed a whole action plan or anything like that. Because I know what my obstacles working out are, especially in the first trimester. And even today, it's really just being really tired all the time. So that's all I got to say about that. I really hope this video is helpful for some people that are working on their mid-year goal setting, that wanted kind of a look at how this was working out a half a year later. And by working out, I mean I just picked it up a half a year later, which is okay, because life happens, and goal setting can be done at any point, at any day, any week, any month of the year. It doesn't have to be January 1st, and you don't have to set up your entire year's worth of goals on January 1st. That's a silly concept. You can goal set whenever you need to do any sort of goal setting. So that's what I've got for you. I hope this video is helpful. I hope to come out with a couple more videos a month. So that's my new goal. Maybe I'll put it in here to try to do like 3 videos a month now instead of just the 1. But that's what I've got for you today. And thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.